Hey everyone, my name is Jeremy Roberts. I'm a learning specialist here at the University of Mississippi with the Center for Student Success and First Year Experience in the Academic Support Program branch. I'm here to talk to you about time management and what we can do in relation to studying, extracurricular activities, and everything else that we've got going on, especially as college students, to help with time management overall at the University of Mississippi. So the first question that we always ask when we're working with students is, what is time management? So how do you define time management? I do it very literal. It's how you manage your time. Well, some people want to know a little bit more than that. So say you've got classes, you've got extracurricular activities, you may have social engagements that you need to abide by, or you have a work schedule that you've also got to do. So, how does all that go into managing one's time? So, that brings up the next question. How do you actually manage your time? Do you use a planner, a checklist, a calendar, a schedule? What are some things that you do besides just hoping that everything goes right and you think you have everything taken care of, but then an assignment creeps up on you and you don't have enough time to finish it the way that you want to? So, some things that I wanted to talk to you about specifically today are examples of things that you can use to actually stay organized and using time management to your best abilities. The first thing, one thing that I believe in very strongly, is using a planner. A lot of people will like to use planners, especially in January, because it's the big thing of the new year to get started, but then it kind of falls off, say around the end of February, March, April, to where you're cleaning up, putting up Christmas stuff, and you find your planner in a drawer somewhere that you've completely forgot about using. Well, that's not the way we want to use a planner. And just writing stuff down in your planner is not a way that you want to use it either. Using a planner is something that you want to do on a daily basis. So I've got a planner that I got at one of the local stores here in Oxford, Mississippi, that helps me stay organized. And with that, it's broken into 15-minute increments, which helps me, especially with class, because I know when I'm teaching to block off a whole 50-minute section or a whole hour section of stuff. But then also it helps me with meetings that may start at 8:30 instead of 8 o'clock, or other things that come up throughout the day that help me understand where my time should be focused. So using a planner is beneficial. Write stuff down, look at it every day, and then go from there. One thing that I'll also do with the planner is every Sunday I sit down and look at what my week ahead is going to tell me. With that, I can plan out different, basically the different things that I've got going on throughout the week of, okay, well, I know I'm going to be teaching Monday, Wednesday, Friday at X time. I've got a certain meeting at one time of the week. Those are things that can help me go, okay, well, now I need to make a phone call to this person, or I've got to make sure that in my personal life, I've got bills that I've got to pay. So I'm able to say, okay, well, during my lunch break, I can go pay this bill or go do this and that. That helps with the planner to know this day is not going to be as hectic as some other days. So I can schedule some of those extra things that I need to do on some downtime to help me with some stuff. For students who are doing this, it's very beneficial to use a planner to let you know, oh, I've got a test this week. Okay, so I need to start backing out all the days ahead of that to help me study. And we've come up with some study techniques that is in one of our other videos under study skills that could be beneficial for you. But knowing how much time you have that leads up to that test is going to be beneficial for you as well. Checklists or to-do lists are also very good. The one that you see on the screen here is one of those big sticky notes that have lines. This is something that I share with all of my students as a way to help you get organized. So on top of your planner, you've also got things that you have to do to check off of a list to make sure that you've got things taken care of. You may be going out of town this weekend, so you've got to put a list together of stuff to do. So you may need to go get your oil changed. You may need to go get gas for a trip that you may have. You may need to meet with your biology professor. So you put that in your planner, but you've also got it on your to-do list of, I need to bring in my textbook, my notes, any other accessible stuff that we're using in class, so my teacher can help me with those things. That can all go on a to-do list or a checklist. Or if you have bills that you have paid or bills that you need to have paid, that can help you with the to-do list. So what I do every week whenever I'm looking over my planner is I put my to-do list right on top. So my planner is based on an entire week. So I take that week, list out everything that I have to do, and then I'll put a sticky note up at the top of that planner and then check off as I go along. And yes, I am one of those that tends to sometimes write things on a checklist that may not have been there and check it off to say that I've done it. It's just part of my personality. Another good thing that we found out that's beneficial to our students, especially here at the university, is using a Google Calendar. Everyone with a @Go account is linked automatically to Gmail. So a Google Calendar helps people put things in their phone, which we all know we've got our phone tied to our hip all the time. This can help you with color coding. It can let you know, okay, well, I've got class at this time. It sends you a reminder 30 minutes before something is due. Those kind of things can help you with time management. Most of us are visual learners, or the students that I work with whenever we do different learning assessments and everything, they're visual learners, so we have to see it. Writing things down, using a planner, using a checklist, putting things into a calendar can help you with that. So what else could someone use? What do you use in your day-to-day life that's beneficial for you, that you've seen, that your teachers may use? Blackboard has a calendar that you can work off of when assignments are put in. There's a lot of other things that are out there, but whenever you come meet with us in our office, we talk about planners and checklists specifically to help our students with some things that they can get organized from the beginning of the semester to lead them all the way through until the end of final exams. One big thing that we've got to talk about is procrastination. A lot of students like to procrastinate, or it just happens because when we're in college, we don't have the set schedule that we had in high school. We went to school at a certain time. We were in school for 7-8 hours a day. We had extracurriculars after school. So a lot of people their freshman year get a little flustered because they've got so much time on their hands. Well, one thing that helps get us into a little bit of trouble is procrastination, because when we're in our rooms, instead of studying, we're watching TV, playing on our phone, social media, playing video games, any of that other stuff that gets us out of our routine of, on a daily basis, this is what I should be doing. I should be going to class and studying. Then we go from there, and then whatever time is left over, that's where we can devote to some free time for ourselves. Well, procrastination kind of hurts whenever we're doing things, because you may have class that starts at 10, so you may want to sleep until 9 o'clock. Well, you've already cut off several hours of the day that can help you with time management. So when have you had breakfast? When have you done your healthcare routine? When have you actually made sure that if you have a test, you have your Scantron or your Blue Book? All of those things can help put a plan in place to help us stop with procrastination. One thing that a lot of our college students do, and that they will tell you flat out, is, yes, I do have a problem with procrastination. And then they'll list everything that they do. So what we do when we work with college students, specifically on procrastination, is the time management schedule of, here's what I have Monday, Wednesday, Friday, here's what I've got Tuesday, Thursday. Okay, so let's build in breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Let's build in when we have classes. Let's build in tutoring. Let's build in when we have group study, when we're going to different places for certain stuff, when we have to go meet with teachers, when we have some of our extracurricular activities going on. All of that helps us with procrastination. So if you cut it out and don't think about it until it's free time to do some stuff. So picture yourself back in high school when you had a change between classes, or you may have had a lunch period where you can check on different things. Use that during time management, especially now in college, to help you, especially if you are suffering from procrastination. So now let's look at actual time we have to do some things. There's only 24 hours in a day. Sometimes we wish there was 25, 26, 27, even 30, just to cram in more stuff as possible. But realistically, there's only 24 hours in a day, 7 days in a week. So that's 168 hours we have for an entire week. When I sit down and work with students, especially on time management, we look at how many hours they're in class. So if they're in class for 12 hours, how many hours on top of that should we be studying? Realistically, we know every hour you're in class, you should devote at least an hour to studying. Sometimes that's not the case. We in higher education understand that. So what we want to do is we want to help you come up with time throughout the week of when you could be studying. So if you're waking up in the morning, go into class, go into lunch. So in the afternoon, you may be more of an active learner. So we want to actually put that time to studying. Say you just got done with biology, you've got a test coming up in 2 weeks. Let's go ahead and make an outline of stuff that we have. Let's look at some concept maps, Cornell notes, flashcards. Those kind of things are going to help us as we're doing the actual studying process of being active, and that counts for time. What does your actual week look like? You have class Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 12, Tuesday, Thursday at 9:30, Tuesday, Thursday at 11. Then you have a lab, say on Thursday. Okay? That's 13 hours of a week. 13 hours of 168 hours. What else are we doing during that other time? When do we devote to studying? When do we devote to lunch? When do we devote to just some personal me time? You need that in your life. You need some time where you can just sit back and reflect and go about your business, but then get back on track with things. So building that time into your time management schedule is also important. Do you need to go to Walmart? Do you need to go to Office Depot? Do you need to go to Kroger? Any of those other places where you need to shop, get study material? Do you have a study group coming up? All of that should go into your time management plan as well. So you should be putting that into your planner on your checklist, making sure that you've got everything taken care of. That's going to help you with the 168 hours that's in a week. And then you move on to the next week. And it just becomes routine for you. Every time you do this, you're putting yourself on a schedule, just like you were in high school. But we know that some things are going to come up, some things are going to change. So you give yourself freedom and flexibility to have that happen, but you still have a consistency of, I've got class at this time, I study at this time, I eat at this time, I sleep at this time. Everything else will just fall into place. So let's put a plan in place. Set up a schedule. What does a week look like? Or don't do it for a week, do it for a day. Let's just look at what a day looks like. Then move on to the next day. Then do it by week. And then once you start to get that, it's going to become routine for you. So you're able to actually understand and process, okay, I've got this, I've got to do this. I can do it during this time. I've got class at this time. I'm going to go get lunch, and then I'm going to go study. Those are the kind of things that are going to help you with a schedule. Avoiding distractions goes along with procrastination. Studying in your room. A lot of people like to study in their room, but then that pile of laundry that's on the floor becomes a distraction, or your TV, or your bed, or your phone. So if you can avoid as many of those as possible throughout your time for your schedule, the better it's going to be for you. So we know when we're in class, we're paying attention, we've got a lecture going on, we're not on our phone anyways because that's just disruptive. So after class, we have a 10-minute break between classes. Check social media. That's fine. Go on to your next class. When you're talking about studying, if you put a plan in place that lets you work little by little at a time, that's going to help you with everything that you've got going on. So there's a technique that's called the Pomodoro Technique, and we'll have a link to it in this video down below for the actual video on YouTube to help you with some things. But we work with students with this technique that lets them understand, okay, I can study for 20 minutes, take a 5-10 minute break, 20 minutes, take a 5-10 minute break, 20 minutes, take a 5-10 minute break. Setting that schedule up, working little by little, that's going to help you over time. If you have a paper for your English class due, or your writing class, whichever history class, if you work little by little on that over time, instead of trying to cram it all in at the last minute, that's going to help you with your schedule. That's going to help you with time management, because what if your printer runs out of ink? What if the internet messes up? All of those kind of things come in when we least expect it. So if we're working little by little and we've got things saved, we're working today at 2 o'clock, I'm going to work on my introductory paragraph, then I'm going to work on a little bit of my body, then I'm going to work on the conclusion on Wednesday. That kind of stuff helps you, especially if the paper's due on Friday. That gives you a day buffer to go to the writing center, to proof it yourself, to give you a little bit of extra time in your schedule instead of, it's Thursday night, I've got a paper due tomorrow at 8 o'clock in the morning, now I've got to cram the entire night to do that. That's not going to help anybody, and you don't really give the paper time to rest. Your paper needs time to rest, your brain needs time to rest. So whenever you go back and read it, you can catch mistakes, or you can go to the writing center and have them read over your paper, or have a friend read over your paper just to make sure that it makes sense. But if we don't do work on it little by little at a time, setting up a schedule, it kind of defeats the whole purpose of the plan that we're trying to put in place. So that's one thing that we want to work on. Put a plan in place, set up your schedule, avoid distractions, work little by little. Everybody has questions. We know there's questions with time management. We know there's questions with study skills. We know there's questions about academic life. We're here to help you with those. So you may be wondering, how can I meet with somebody in academic support? We have an online request form that goes through our system that we can set up for student success coaching. We can set up for an academic consultation. Those are where we can work with students on a one-on-one basis just to go over time management, organization, your classes, study skills, those kind of things. So if you fill out that form online, that comes directly to our office and we can set you up with the time. Sending us an email, we can work through email to set up a time, get you an appointment. Giving us a call, same thing with email, we can go through that as well. And then our office, when the university is open during normal business hours from 8 to 5, you can stop by there and we can help you out any way that we can as well. So to contact us, our office is actually located in Hill Hall, which is across from the Rebel Market. Our website is cssfye.olemiss.edu, and I'll link that in the description below. Our email address is asp_cssfye@olemiss.edu, which I'll also link in the description below. And then we're also on social media, where we do give a lot of tips and suggestions to help with studying, time management, academic support type things that you as a college student would want to be aware of. So we're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, and now on YouTube. So if there's anything that we can ever do to help you, please let us know. We're here. Part of our office mission is to help students any way that we can. So just reach out to us, let us know how we can help you, and we'd be happy to. All right, thanks.